Hey everybody. Welcome to the Who Day Over 40 podcast for long time, long suffering Cincinnati Bengals fans. It's the aftermath, y'all, where we break down the game. The Bengals win again, move to 9-6, 41-20 over the Baltimore Ravens. Uh, a game that, to be honest with you, it seemed closer than it was. We're going to break it down a little bit tonight, talk about playoffs again, and kind of things moving forward. On the line tonight is 2 yards in the cloud of dust. It's Big Hutch, man. Who they?
Who Dey?
Wow, just Hutch. I mean, everything that's going on with the Ravens, things kind of to come out like kind of late in the week. On Thursday or I guess today's Sunday, so maybe on Friday they were like, "Oh yeah, Tyler Huntley is in an illness, non-COVID related illness." When the whole last team got COVID, I was like, "That nigga got COVID." I don't know what they trying to prove.
That's they think whatever. I think I if I'm the GM or the coach or these whatevers, you know, I think they come up with they're like, damn, he got COVID. I think,
Yeah,
but just to maybe we can if we can sneak this shit through, he ain't got COVID for
yeah,
till
he
tomorrow
froze.
or
Maybe
till
got COVID-18. So yeah, if Friday it comes out or Friday it comes out that he possibly has, a non-COVID related illness. Saturday it comes out that he doesn't have it. Lamar Jackson isn't going to travel. So now we're down to former Cincinnati Bengals Josh Johnson. Hutch, what do you remember about Josh Johnson?
shit nothing. Not a damn thing.
He backed up Andy Dalton for a year, which was I don't remember. I remember in preseason that he was, kind of a mobile quarterback, kind of a one read dude. If it was there, he could throw it. If it wasn't there, he was going to take off. But that was years ago. He was much
Right,
younger. He's been on
right,
like damn near half the teams in the NFL,
right.
as a backup quarterback. And, they're like, oh, yeah, he's going to be starting. I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird.
I didn't know he was in the league. I didn't know his existence.
Yeah. He just
I
signed with the Ravens last week, I believe, because of the injury to Lamar Jackson, which I predicted last week that he wasn't playing.
yeah, you got that right.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, that ankle sprain looked really bad. So it really wasn't surprising that he still wasn't ready to go. Um, so yeah, so going into the game, the line was the Bengals by 3.5. Once Huntley went out, the line jumped up to 7. Hutch,
Seven.
what you thinking? Line at 7.
I was like, well, if you can't win this shit, I mean, I was pretty sure we are gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard it down to Josh Johnson, and I mean their defense, they're damn near nobody. It seemed like that was there in week 7
Yeah, it's
that was
depleted
playing this week.
for sure on the defensive end. And, between the defensive depletions, Josh Johnson, and the fact that, let's be honest, the Bengals kind of mollywopped them in Baltimore earlier in the
Oh,
season,
we
too.
did mollywop them.
Yeah, so it really wasn't like, oh, well, this team is going to be this. I mean, even with Huntley or whoever, it still would have been, probably a game. I mean, the Bengals were favored in that game. But going in, just the Mike White thing with the Jets, man, had to have you scared. It had me scared.
It didn't have no fear until we was down 7-3 officially.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let's jump into the game a little bit. Give me the share screen and we'll turn that
You got
over.
it.
The Bengals lose the toss, get the ball first, go down, fairly quickly and easily, get bogged down in the red zone, kick a field goal. It's 3-0. Okay, my thought is, you got to put the pressure on the Ravens to have to score, so getting a 3, yeah, that's good. But I mean, you really wanted to put 7 on the board to make them think.
Right, you got it right. 7. It's all about the 7.
Right.
Lucky
So
number 7.
So the Ravens come out and you're thinking, all right, well, this dude ain't started a game. I think I saw it since 2018. Yeah. And, he played a couple of times, but, he hadn't started. Thinking the Bengals like, all right, well, let's do something here. Nothing. They take the ball right down the field, like easily. Nigga started like
Very
4 or
easy.
5 or something like that. It was nothing. They went straight down the field, scored a touchdown, 7-3. You're down. Like, what in the world? You send a text in the
At
group chat.
home.
Yeah, when you
Right.
send a text in the group chat, like, what in the world is going on here?
Right. I mean, yeah, the Bengals chillax.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, we talked about this all season about the Bengals not handling success. Like going in there and winning that game against Denver last week, getting the 2 wins in a row, or excuse me, getting the monkey off the back, breaking the losing streak. Like, I mean, like, hey, how do y'all handle success? And they haven't been good at it. I mean, flat out. That's probably prospects of a young team, which is to be expected. But man, y'all have been through it a couple times this year. Like, at this point, you need to figure it out.
Got to get over the hump.
Yeah, exactly. So the Bengals get the ball back and promptly take the ball and drive it right down the field, like easily.
Chewy. I mean, right. I think that was the Brady Bunch where the woman was building the damn treehouse and the shit almost fell on Cindy. And then the dude was like, all right, now it's time to take it serious.
I mean, this was some Globetrotters, Washington Generals type shit, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, it really wasn't that difficult to go down and score. It was, not surprising at all. Let's see if we can pull up that. I believe that was Joe Mixon here on the share screen. I forgot to share it. Got that commercial though.
Well, they ain't sponsoring us.
Oh wait, what? I don't know PS5 games. Although, oh come on. Here we go. PlayStation.
That's the 4th and 1 play.
Correct.
Right. I was like, well, that was a very pivotal play.
Okay. So the funny part about that is that I'm like, hey, wait a second. The one of my keys for this game is disrespect. It started at hold on. God dog it. Hold on. What in the world's going on here? Sorry. There we go. Sorry about that. What I wanted to say was that like, it started earlier in the week when the defensive coordinator for the Ravens was like, yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams is one of the greatest receivers in the league and Hall of Fame quarterback. We don't really need to like be worrying too much about. Essentially, we don't really need to be giving that kind of respect to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. We're going to come back to that quote later on. And so this was all about disrespect to me and respect. The Bengals got the ball there. They could have easily kicked the field goal and gone down 7-6. But as soon as Joe Mixon didn't get it on 3rd down, like, this is him. Let's go. If you were watching on YouTube, let's go. Like, we're gonna go for it, and they go for it. They get there, and then they don't. They're not down for the rest of the game. Like, they were like, you know what? We don't respect you. We don't think that you can stop us, and we're just gonna go for it, no matter what you do or what you think. And they did. 10-7, essentially game over.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
if you're looking on YouTube, you can. I pulled up with something.
Yes, we're gonna come back at the end, but yeah, Joe Burrow saw those comments, and
everybody saw them comments.
Yeah, well, I was telling Goat Killer, our other producer here, that I'm gonna say it because I believe it. There's a little bit of Tom Brady and Joe Burrow where he finds those slights, those perceived slights, and he takes them and like makes it personal. There's a meme going around now, like with him with the Jordan meme on, with his face on Jordan. It's like, yeah, and I took that shit personally, because he takes everything personally, and whatever he does at the end of the day today. So anyway, Ravens get the ball back, aren't really able to do too much. Bengals get the ball back, and you're going to notice a theme here because every time they get the ball here in the first half, they score every single time. 5 possessions, score on every single one. 1 field goal, 4 touchdowns. I mean, what the hell, Hutch?
That's what you're supposed to do.
They
took out the garbage. They took out the garbage.
They did. They just decided that, you know what, they're not going to be able to do anything against us, and we're just going to go ahead and let them know that they can't do anything against us. So we go to the second Joe Burrow or Joe Mixon touchdown here. Again, if you're watching on the YouTube, and another PlayStation 5 commercial.
Yeah. I wish PlayStation would sponsor this channel.
Nice. We'll blow it up. If you're watching on the YouTube, be sure to subscribe and rate, by the way, on the podcast. Hopefully this. There we go.
The black squiggly line is our dude.
Yeah. Yes. Take the hope away.
Right. That's
at
that
what
point, you have to do. You gotta.
Yeah, it is. It is exactly what you need to do. Don't give them any chance or any thought about that. And I pulled up the wrong thing. It was supposed to be, that was the third score where it got to 24-0. The second one was actually the Tyler Boyd, end around, which we saw last week against Denver, which we'll pull up again for you guys. No, here we go. This was an absolute beating. Like, there was no like, oh, well, maybe this or that. No, it was a beating. Look at this. This is just an absolute leak out.
Remember that ass what we got last.
Well, it's going to come up later, too.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the move, Hutch. Oop, then doop-de-doo.
Yeah. Don't let him get behind you. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Right. A nice block by Mixon, too.
Yes, down the field. So, honestly, like, this is we're 24-7. The game is essentially over. Ravens go on a drive near the end of the half. They get stopped. Bengals get the ball back. Again, if you've been a Bengals fan for a while, even if you're, I would what I call a modern fan, which would be during the Marvin era, at the end of the half with the Bengals winning a game, Marvin is going to put on the foot brake, the emergency brake.
Right.
He is just not going to push, like, what's Marvin's famous quote? Well, when you throw the ball, 2 of the 3 things that could happen are bad. Incompletion and a turnover. So he wasn't going to push it. Zach Taylor, for many of his faults that he does have, he's going to push it. And the Bengals get the ball, and there's a fracking, I would call, did you see the catch? I would call it a miraculous catch. This is some David Tyree shit. Just the moment ain't as big.
Calvin Johnson would do some shit like this.
What, like Moss and folks, you mean?
Right, 2 other people on top of him.
This is just an amazing catch. And I think
concentration
catch. The concentration, going to the ground with the ball is the craziest part there, because and I'll be honest with you, during the time there, I didn't think that he caught it. Like, live, I didn't think he caught it. But when you look back at it on the replay, yeah, the ball comes loose when he goes to the ground, but his hand is under the ball. Like, the ball never touches the ground. I'm not sure if they have the angles here on ESPN, but we'll check it out for y'all to see. But T. Higgins goes over 1,000 yards for the season, Hutch.
I think everybody should have been or foul. This was stat night, and everybody should have got into the act.
Let's see how it goes. I mean, and this is 3rd and 16, Hutch.
Right. I thought this was. I didn't think they were going to go deep like this.
I called it the goat killer. I'm like, I think they're going to take a shot and just try to go for it and see what happens. Look at this. That is
incredible.
That's an incredible thing. And then the moment that it's done, it's like, hey, we're up 24-7. Let's, it's 3rd and 16. That's why I said the goat killer. I'm like, oh, they're either going to be like, hey, we're going to turn it over deep, or it's an incompletion, and we'll punt and see what happens. And that's it. I mean, and talk about the game being over. Like once they score, Mixon scores that other touchdown, or no, excuse me, Higgins scores that touchdown. Once he did that, it was a complete wrap.
It was
done. Like, whew. And so now, the Ravens having to throw the ball because they're down,
and they couldn't really run. I mean, they were running. Actually, Devontae Freeman was doing all right there for a second.
Yeah, but it seems like they were like, hey, we're gonna, put this game on Josh Johnson, and I think they kind of knew that they had to throw the ball to have any chance.
They're down 24. Well, definitely.
But it was a wrap. Yeah, at that
point.
But I mean, I just think that I don't know. What are you gonna do? So I mean, we can go into the second half, but really the game turns on the Bengals. First possession in the second half. Where they're up 31-7, and they take 9 minutes off the clock and drive down the field. There's a couple of holding penalties in the end zone near the end there. But, I mean, at the end of the day, there's like a minute left in the third quarter. Evan McPherson kicks a field goal, makes it 34-7. I mean, that's it.
Right.
It took off so much clock.
Right. I was doing other shit at that time.
To come back, and
right.
That's it.
Right.
I mean, that's it. The Ravens do get a couple of, booty scores there, and the Bengals get another one as well. But what I want to talk about is that once the Bengals were up 41-20 and the game, Evan McPherson misses a 51-yard field goal, Ravens get the ball back, don't do any, or turn it over. Von Bell, gets an interception, and the Bengals get the ball back, and they're not going to sit on it. Joe Burrow was close to 500 yards passing.
Close.
But he hadn't gotten it yet. He hadn't gotten it yet. And then what is it? They were 15 yards, I think, from all three receivers having 100 yards, from Tyler Boyd getting 100. So
he got robbed.
Yeah, Goat Killer's like, oh yeah, I know he got robbed for previously. Goat Killer's like, no, they're gonna go for it. They're gonna try to get him his yards. I'm like, they better put Joe Burrow back on that bench with a freaking baseball cap on. Nope. Again, what's the word of the day, children? Disrespect. And the Bengals just disrespected all over the Ravens. It's like, oh no, we're going to come out. There's a little like 2+ minutes to go. Run. And then a huge freaking throw by Burrow to Joe Mixon that gets him right down to the middle, in scoring position in the red zone. And the Bengals decide to take a knee from there. Like, yeah, you know what? We could score here and really run it up, but we're not going to do that. And
they already ran it up.
I know. That's were you throwing with under 2 minutes to go. And, the post-game comments, by Zach Taylor was like, well, shit, nobody was thinking, talking about them running it up on us when Lamar was running for 400 yards in the last game of the season last year. Nobody said nothing. And he's not wrong.
Right.
He's not wrong at all. That's exactly what should have happened. I mean, it is what it is. So that's it.
Right. But them dudes is on scholarship on the other side. Granted, they going to Sinclair, but yes, they got scholarship. Score on the mother blanket.
It didn't matter though.
It
It didn't
didn't.
matter. Bengals were
Hey, you know what? You got 2 more games, and next week is going to be a motherfucker. So
yeah.
every play that you run, that's whatever, is more tape for them motherfuckers to watch.
And let's get into that a little bit too. So the game ends. Buffalo goes into New England and wins, which drops New England out of the lead in the AFC East and puts Buffalo in, and then moves the Bengals up to the number 3 seed in the playoffs, where we would be playing New England if the season ended of the day. Hands up, yeah. I don't want to Belichick rookie or not rookie quarterback, but early quarterback. I don't want to see that. Like I would much rather play Jonathan Taylor or the Ravens again or some bullshit like that. But yeah. So Bengals up to the 3 seed, need to win this way, and everything really broke for the Bengals again. The freaking Chargers lose to the Texans, and bad too. Like real
If they'd have lost by 1 point, it's a bad loss.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice if the Colts lost yesterday. By the way, the Cardinals coach definitely getting shit canned at the end of the year. No doubt.
Kingsbury is.
Yeah, he's getting crushed. So and the Steelers right now are currently losing. What's the score?
23-0.
23 love. So they're about to drop back out, which will put the Ravens back into that spot. And I do believe they play each other next week, or they play each other the last week of the season.
They play the last week of the season.
They play the last week of the season.
The Steelers play the Browns next week.
The Steelers and the Browns. Okay, so that's in a straight up elimination game too.
Yeah, that's a loser.
So I mean, if it ain't already really been eliminated, but yeah, I mean the Bengals. You got to win one of the next 2. That'll put you into the playoffs. Preferably you win that division game, but we'll see what happens next week. Against the Chiefs. I mean, obviously the Chiefs are good. I think they've won 7 in a row, something crazy like that. They whatever early season woes they had, they have fixed them. And I would expect it.
They're number 1 seed in the AFC after starting off awful.
Yeah, and I would expect a full-on shootout in Cincinnati next week. I would expect a shootout because they can't stop anybody that's really good offensively, and I don't think the Bengals will be able to stop them either. So let's see what happens, and the Bengals will be up for that. That's a measuring stick game. It's not like they're going to play down to the competition in this, and it's not too big for the Bengals. Like I don't believe they're going to go in there and get blown out. That's not going to happen. So, yeah, man, 9-6. Hutch, you definitely bet against them in Vegas. Literally,
I bet against
not to win those games.
I didn't think they'd have a winning record. I didn't think they'd have a shot to make. Well, they had a shot to make the playoffs, but I didn't think they'd be this.
Yep, assured a non-losing record for the first time since 2015. 15. Yeah, since the Jeremy Hill fumble. Shouts out, by the way. He was like, man, Joe Burrow is something else. I mean, again, he went to LSU, so I get it. But he's had some I can't believe that. Imagine being a Bengals fan tweet that he made a couple of years ago. So he got roasted in the comment section. So Joe Burrow breaks the Bengals quarterback record for most yards by a quarterback. Goat Killer brought up, he was like, that's really surprising. But the only one that you're really surprised that didn't have that 500+ yard game is Carson Palmer, right? Like that's the only one.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's in the modern passing era. It'd have been difficult for Dalton to get to 500, but Carson Palmer should have probably gotten over it one time. You would have imagined. I mean, with Chad and TJ and you know what I mean. Like it should have been a game against the Browns when they were bad. So, yeah. At 525 is the 4th most yards in a game ever.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So Joe Burrow right now is the 11th. Ridiculous. Well, actually, he should be. He had 36-40 going into this game, 3,640 yards. He just threw for 500.
He's over 4,000 yards passing and 30 touchdowns now.
Right. So that puts him. So now he's in the top. He might be. Yeah, he's the 4th now, I would say, I have the list of the top 30.
If you're on YouTube,
Yeah. So he
the
right.
top.
So he needs 200 more yards, 300 more yards to get number one. Best most yards in the Bengals season.
Yeah, looks like it. So
Yeah.
that's done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and again, think about how well he has, or not well he has played in a couple of these games. Like, I mean, last week he doesn't throw for. There's like a couple of games where he doesn't even throw for 200 yards, but they win.
Right.
So next week, I mean, if it's a shootout, I think he's game for it. If they could, run the ball a lot and keep that dude on the sideline, they could probably win that way too. It's just
he could also get the most TDs in a season too.
Yeah, he's only got to get to 33 more touchdowns or 4 more touchdowns in 2 games. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But yeah, he's an impressive dude. I was telling Goat Killer, I'm like, hey man, he needs to find a billionaire model wife. And then
he already married?
No. And then take some under market deals when his contract comes up, so we can keep signing players to try to win further. Because man, he's gonna command a ridiculous amount of money.
Right. We ain't keeping him. Not after those two whatever you stuck with us. But yeah, after that,
he ain't gone. He's getting all his money. He ain't never, barring anything unforeseen, he ain't never seeing a non-Bengals uniform. They'll pay him.
He going.
Everything. No chance.
He is 2026. He out of there, whatever.
No chance.
Whenever that shit runs out.
No chance. That's insanity. What in the world why the Bengals would let him go?
Well, I'm right. The Bengals ain't gonna let him go. He gonna get his 2 years of whatever, $50 million about that.
That's
time.
Crazy. They are going to open up the checkbook and let him write his name on it. There's no way he's leaving. Again, unless something ridiculously bad happens, which nothing has happened these 2 seasons that would make you think that.
We'll see. We will see as the old Negro spiritual goes. But right, if we do sign him for $50-60 million a year, that means the rest of the team is going to be a bunch
correct.
of
That, and like I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. You got to find, like Brady took all those under market deals because he didn't need the money between his endorsements and his wife making, again, billions of dollars. He didn't really need to take the money till he was like, hey, I need to get the money at the end of his career. And you got to see how that turns out with the Bengals.
Right. Well, you want to talk about he ain't gonna get too many endorsements from Cincinnati. Talk about we ain't got no nightlife.
Yeah. Well, again, that was tongue firmly in cheek, and people ran with that like he was talking shit about Cincinnati.
He was.
No, he was. Nigga, he's from Athens. Okay.
I know where he's from.
There ain't nothing to do in Athens.
There ain't nothing to do in Cincinnati. He was right.
Compared to Athens? Come on,
man. But it ain't shit to do with there ain't shit to do with Cincinnati. Right, but get in trouble.
Athens compared to freaking Cincinnati's Vegas. So
right, but you've been in Cincinnati at 2:00 in the morning. There ain't shit.
No, I don't know if I have been actually, but I've been in Cincinnati. But I begin. We were just there, whatever many months ago. There was plenty of that nightlife over there by the stadium, by the Reds and the Bengals stadium. I think I think there's plenty to do if you want to do it. I don't get the sense that he's somebody that would go out anyway. So I don't know.
I'm 22, 23. Oh well, if not him, the other mother blankers want to get out and do something.
Yeah, that's fair. So
but Ravens playoff tickets are on sale. I think it's time to refund them blankety blanks.
Yeah, everybody in the North loses, but the Bengals this week. I mean, unless the Steelers make. Did he just fumble? He did. Unless the Steelers make some miraculous comeback here, which is probably not going to happen. This a wrap. Everybody in the North loses. The people that needed to lose in the North for us or in the AFC also did lose.
Yeah.
Let's freaking go. 9-6. Try to win the game.
Well, now just if we can somehow, some way beat the Chiefs, we won the North at that point.
At that point, we win the North, right?
Right.
And I don't know if there's any playoff scenario where if we don't win and other people lose that we back into it either. So I have no idea. But
I think the Browns are the only team that got a chance at this point, and we had to lose.
Goat
the
Killer
Chiefs
said, this has happened a couple of times. The Bengals have not been on a 3-game win streak all season. And we're on a 2-game win streak here. So
if it was anybody other than the Chiefs, I'd say we got shot.
Right. But we'll see what happens. But all right. Exit music, man. What you got? I got nothing. Last 2 weeks I was
going to play Dirty Laundry by Don Henley.
Dirty Laundry. Oh, I like that.
Because that's what I was playing earlier.
Nice. And off topic, did you see that Eagles documentary? It was I think it was on Showtime, but it might have been played
a long time ago. Or not that long, about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago.
A little longer than that. I was living in Georgia at the time.
Oh, 5 or 7 years ago.
Yeah,
I think I did because I like the Eagles. I've always.
Oh, I do too. Oh, me too. Yeah, no, I do too. But yeah, it was really interesting. The formation,
how they screwed over that one dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The formation, the breakups. Just overall good documentary.
You do not get equal share of the money.
No, for sure. All right. So it's Don Henley. If you're listening to the podcast, begins to play us out. Who day, everybody? Angel gets their wings. The Steelers lose. The Bengals win. Ravens freaking coughing on each other. And this, shouts out to Zim Houday on Twitter. We was talking yesterday about, we got to really watch the Bengals actually this week because obviously the whole freaking Ravens team got COVID. And then they've been huffing and puffing and breathing on everybody for the last, 4 hours. You got to really see, how the Bengals come out of that. They've been really good, nightlife or no nightlife. DJ Reader was the biggest name that was out, today.
Right.
Definitely going to need him back next week. And you hope that nobody of any real worth, kind of comes up on that protocol list. And God forbid if they're not somebody that's not freaking vaccinated. And you got to be out a minimum of 10 freaking days. And now you missed the last 2 games.
You missed the last 2 games, right? And
so that would be brutal, which is what's happening to a couple of teams with some pretty vital players this week. So yeah.
So are we bringing back? Is Zach guaranteed to come back?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no chance he doesn't. I mean, what at this point? What do they win? What one win or 2 wins the first season?
We got 2 wins the first season.
A 4 and a tie the second.
4.5 was last year.
So what? He had 6
6.5
6 wins, and now he's up to 6.5 wins. He just got the 9 win. If he cracks double digits, that's a guarantee. But I'm pretty sure they, non-losing record, they get in this year too. He stays.
Is he coach of the year?
No, God, no. But I would say this, because of their defensive rank and whatever, and however they finish, I won't be surprised if Lou Anarumo gets some interviews, for head coaching.
Did you want to talk about the Pro Bowl folks?
I can't stand the Pro Bowl. I don't like it. I don't care about it anymore. I know I used to care, but the Bengals get 3 Pro Bowlers and Trey Hendrickson, who extended his sack streak, by the way, today. Only sack of the day that the Bengals got. And now he's up to 14 sacks or 15.
He was one behind
14 and a half or 15. So, I can't remember. Joe Mixon makes it, and then Jamar Chase makes it.
Yeah, that was good. All that shit is great.
But, winning takes care of everything.
Yeah,
win games. That's it. Win the games. Everything will take care of itself. So, and the Chiefs just scored again. So, that shit's over. And their season is officially over too.
No, not just. They can just do us one favor. They can do us 2 favors, and they can do us 2 favors.
Yeah. By winning and losing the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
Right. beat the Browns, they can
it's
lose to
crazy
the
how
Ravens.
it's gonna fall out at the end. So
No.
anyway, all right. So Don Henley's playing us out. Who day, everybody? Freaking what a beautiful day. What's up with 41 in Bengals wins and losses in the AFC North?
Just a magic number.
41 against the Steelers, 41 L to the Browns. Like, this is weird. Freaking 2-4